Welcome to Siwa.
Siwa, a mystical Egyptian land filled with beauty and history. An oasis where water literally gives life to the desert surrounding it. This spectacular land is filled with the memories of the past and the present. Here you can discover the stories of those long forgotten to time.
Damage it to find the mummy.
Filled with thousands of years of history.
This is the tomb of Si-Amun.
Life and death.
We explore a mountain covered in remains of the past.
I think it was complete skeleton here damaged for unknown reason.
Amazing view here.
Home to those who speak to the gods.
And literally walking in the same footsteps as Alexander the Great.
We reveal what decimated these now ancient abandoned towns. We see the ghost towns where banished locals fled to.
Piles and piles of salt crystals.
Come with me to see what makes Siwa so special. Starting our journey from Cairo, it is a 10-hour drive to reach Siwa. As we pass through Egypt's western desert on the border with Libya, we arrive in a lush, green, fertile oasis, Siwa.
So we have just arrived in Siwa after a 10-hour drive at our hotel, which is, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's very traditional. So come on in. Don't have that much time to show you around because we want to go and catch the sunset. Oh, this is really nice. I really like this. It's very traditional. I mean, we still have the reeds for the ceiling, mud on the wall. Yeah. It's so beautiful out here. And I mean, we have this view, which you can't beat.
I really like it. So I like the design. It's like mud brick, but specific kind of mud bricks. In Siwa, they use it for thousands of years. If you test it, it have like salt in it. So I love the location and very well. We're looking at this mountain, so we can feel ancient Egypt in such a place because same constructions they used since thousands of years. I'm so happy to be here.
Siwa is probably one of the most peaceful places in Egypt. It is completely isolated, so there is a real sense of a unique culture happening all around us. People have been coming here for thousands of years, and I cannot think of a better way to start our adventure than here at Siwa Lake.
Cheers, Lemmy.
Cheers, Habibi. Cheers.
Siwa is a small bustling village where the living are alongside the dead. This is quite literally a mountain of the dead, overlooked by the mountain of the living People of this area were buried throughout this mountain for almost 1,000 years, from around 700 BC. Every inch of this mountain is covered in tombs. Explorers did come here in the 1800s, yet the majority of the tombs were only discovered in the 1940s. We do not know the owner of this tomb that was discovered in October 1940 by Ahmed Fakhri.
So this is the tomb of the crocodile, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we have like a picture of crocodile here, so they named that the crocodile tomb.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. That's why there's no any name for the owner of this tomb. That's why they named the crocodile tomb.
It's a very strange little tomb.
Very strange.
Yeah.
And here, I think the tomb robbers, they found like a wall here.
Oh,
so
yes.
they damaged it to find the mummy.
Yeah, you can see where they knocked it down
Yeah.
to go through to the mummy.
And something very weird here as well. We see Tahut or Hermes or Jehuti in front of Osiris.
Also a different color
Yes.
for Thoth.
Yes.
Different color.
In a black.
Yeah. Yeah. But the decoration is beautiful, but the style is, it's not Greek, it's not Roman, it's not Egyptian, it's Siwan.
Siwan, yes.
Siwan style.
The desert art in Western desert in Egypt and Oasis is quite different than the art in the valley and the delta.
Yeah.
Even via knocking down also.
Completely. There are all the cartouches lying.
Yeah. Empty.
All the cartouches are empty. So that's quite interesting that they didn't fill in which pharaoh they lived under.
He was like one of the nobles who lived in this area.
Yeah. They had like nomarchs, like in Aswan, control the area.
Like, what's the name of this guy we visited his tomb last time?
Si-Amun.
Yeah, Si-Amun.
Similar.
Yeah.
So even 1,000 years later, they have the same idea.
Same idea, same concept, same everything.
Yeah.
So, the ancient Egyptian civilization is the only one who extend for all of these years, 3,200 BC up to 330 BC.
Although this tomb is crudely decorated, it is beautiful, with images of the goddess Isis and Hathor lining the entrance. This tomb dates to around 30 BC from the late Ptolemaic period and the early Roman period. Lavish burials were only for those who could afford them, so this person was clearly of a high status.
I don't know if she's Isis. There is no hieroglyphs or nothing in the text, nothing on her head. But I think it is still a religious scene and on her goddess, because we are in tombs, so it's very logical.
The reality of this mountain reveals itself to us outside.
I just walked past and I saw there's all these bones coming out, and this is a person's jaw.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you can see the teeth, the actual jawbone. It's amazing. And there's just pieces of bone, like there's a hip here.
And leg.
Yeah, look, there's a leg coming right out of the ground.
I think it was complete skeleton here damaged for unknown reason.
Yeah, completely. And because this would not be from, that tomb.
No.
This is from other people just coming and burying their dead in the mountain with just covering with rocks.
To get a blessing or get the holy mountain, to be in holy mountain, to be connected. Yeah.
So even if you are close to a tomb, that's good enough. So the symbols in the tomb will still help you even if you're buried close to it.
Yes, and it's happened like in late period when they have nothing to do, they not have this ability to carve the tomb, but the belief and thought still alive. So as you mentioned, I like this idea to keep the connection.
The ancient people living in Siwa had their own set of rules. They were so far away from the ruling pharaoh that it gave them a sort of liberty to do what they liked. Yet secretly encoded in this tomb are hints to how this man saw himself as equal to the pharaoh. This is the oldest known tomb in Siwa from the 26th dynasty around 700 BC. It belonged to a man named Patot. He was a high priest and a prophet of Osiris, the god of the next life, who was worshipped here long before Amun. He is accompanied by the goddess of love, Hathor.
And she's actually got the head of a cow, which is a unique image to see her.
In a tomb.
Female body, cow face.
Cow head, yeah. Or usually always she's in a human figure. In majority of tombs, not all. And also,
yes,
you see this?
You can see he's a farmer, there he is. And he's holding the cows. We see this scene repeated many times.
Where?
Like Medinet Habu, Luxor Temple, we see Amenhotep III leading the bulls. But this man is not a pharaoh. He's not celebrating an Opet festival.
No. It's Ayaro.
Yeah.
I think it represents Ayaro. He became back to be a good farmer in Ayaro.
Exactly.
Do you know why they hold the cows like that in the farm?
In the farm?
Yeah.
Make sure they don't run.
No. They throw the seeds on the ground, so I get the cows, when the cow they put the seeds deeper.
That's very clever, so they don't have to use the machine like we use. Yeah. And we can see Pathor.
Yeah.
Pathor. Here he is. You can see he's holding up a scepter, and he's offering these boxes up to the gods. So we see this scene even at Abu Simbel, where we see Ramses II with the scepter holding it up with these boxes, offering them to Amun.
Yes, all are repeated, and also we can read
an offering to Osiris of life.
Yeah. So we call that funeral phrases. Yes. Must be inside the tomb. Yes. And the majority of it start with Hetep Dinesu.
But it's interesting that we're seeing these kinds of scenes in a tomb for a noble person, because these types of images, this is a royal imagery, so the Siwans are adopting.
They are adopting, and also in late period of Egyptian history, they break the law of everything.
Yes.
And also the ruler here, or nobles here, they feel kind of liberty because they are far from the pharaoh.
Very far.
So they consider them like little pharaohs in a desert.
It took us 10 hours to get here.
Imagine
on a chariot.
10 hours and 140 kilometer speed.
Yeah.
The eeriest part is that the prophet of Osiris is still laid to rest in his tomb. He was mummified with his arms crossed in the Osiris pose, usually reserved for the pharaoh. Pathor and his family were buried in this lavish tomb. To the side are 3 burial chambers, each reserved for a member of his family. It is uncertain whether people would come into this tomb to leave offerings, but this offering table was found inside. The Mountain of the Dead contains hundreds, if not thousands, of burials. Only 4 are decorated.
This tomb is definitely more important than the other.
Yes.
It's longer.
Longer and also accurate, more accurate.
Yeah.
In the holes and walls, and also the passage and the kind of...
The decoration is incredible. I mean, the cobras are... these are just stunning.
Just these cobras, but it's like a little touch, but give the tomb like a test. You can enjoy it, even it's not have that much of decoration, but the cobra made it.
It's more than enough security.
Yes, more than enough security. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 cobras.
And the glyphs are, it's so different, but it's really beautiful.
Read, Curtis.
So we have Lord Horus, son of Osiris.
Yes, Horus Sa-Uzir.
Horus Sa-Uzir. Yeah, that's incredible.
And the other side also we have.
Oh, yes. Oh, we have the beautiful Isis Hathor.
She is the wife of Osiris, and this tomb owner gets her name from this goddess.
You can see here life from Osiris, Hathor, and then Mesu Iset, Mesiset. And that determinative is clearly the lady's name.
Why you read like that?
Oh, well, we know because the birds are looking that way, right?
Yeah, this is a stupid question from me to ask you same questions. We're something very easy with you. I am stupid, sorry.
This tomb dates to around 300 BC, just as the Ptolemaic period started, around the time Alexander the Great was in Egypt. Underneath the cobras and the winged sun disk, Mesiset was laid to rest on this platform in her tomb. We know next to nothing about her, but her tomb tells us the ancient name of Siwa, Tha'at. Many groups of people inhabit Siwa, from native Egyptian to Libyan, Nubian, and Bedouin. The overseer of the mountain is from the Berber group of people, named Amazigh, with his distinct blue eyes. Protected by the goddess Mut above, this is one of the most beautiful tombs discovered in 1940 in Siwa.
This is the tomb of Si-Amun, and you can see he's quite a different looking man. He has this short haircut, a little bit wavy on the hair, and he has a full beard. And this is quite an interesting scene to see an ancient Egyptian depicted like this. But the people here in Siwa were an interesting mix, especially at this time, of Greek, Roman, and Egyptian. So it's really interesting, and I've been waiting for so long to come and see Si-Amun, and here he is.
His name means the man of Amun. He lived in Siwa around 300 BC, during the time when Alexander the Great was here. Si-Amun's father was a Greek merchant from Cyrene. His mother was an Egyptian. He clearly embraced his Greek and Egyptian heritage by depicting many of the gods of Egypt in his tomb, while showing himself as a Greek man. Among the many gods shown in his tomb is this strange-looking male lion-headed god. This is Mahes, a minor god with a niche following. The sister of Isis, Nephthys, protecting Horus. Anubis, the leader of the dead, is seen reviving the mummy of Si-Amun, who is laid out on a bed headed with male lions. Before them, Isis is kneeling while mourning for the dead. Isis was the wife of Osiris, the god of the next life. In tombs, Osiris is usually depicted as the pharaoh of that time, yet the cartouches in the tomb are empty. We do not know who he is.
This is a very, very unique tomb. Yes. I mean, we have Mahes over here depicted in an extreme strange way.
Extremely different than the city one or the temples.
Yeah, it's very different symbolism in this tomb. Very different.
Because the art, as we mentioned before, get less during the Greek-Roman period and change it in culture and everything.
Adjusted, adapted.
Also, I want to speak about the roof, almost inside the ceilings, inside temples.
I didn't even look up yet.
Well, it's full of vultures and falcons and stars.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Because the ceiling itself represents the sky.
Yeah.
The sky has a blue color, so some tombs we have like Ramses I, yes. Blue color. The sky has stars, the sky has birds.
Yes. And the stars are the ancestors.
Yes.
So it's It's all symbols.
All symbolic, but I wanted to speak about vulture. The vulture,
Yes.
now, the vulture have no such respect like the ancient time.
They're like a dirty bird now.
Yes, they're nasty and take that animals not good.
Yeah.
But the ancient Egyptians, they have different vision to the vulture.
Okay.
Clean the environment.
Yes.
After the war, he eat the dead bodies.
Yeah.
So the bacteria not increase to hurt the people. So they consider the vulture simple to get us mood.
Yes.
So when we see that in roofs, temples or tombs, as one day if this place come dirty, it's come to clean it up, and this place are clean, their place are purified.
Literally, yeah. It literally means that as you walk under here, you're being purified.
Yeah, excellent. You got the point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting, and they have the vulture and the falcon. I've never seen them do both. So this is so unique.
So unique. I love that. Thank you to recommend this tomb to come. Thank you. Really love it.
What I really love is the purification happening in this tomb. We have the tree goddess here. You can see the beautiful branches coming out with these little green leaves. The green is so bright. But she's pouring out this jug, and coming out of the jug is the water. But in the water you can see the Ankh sign, literally showing that the water is giving life.
But as always, with life there must be death, and one creature embodies this perfectly.
Emem, or emmet in English, it's a creature in afterlife, like hyena's body, and some people say hippopotamus body, and crocodile head. Like mythological creature, try to eat you if you are guilty. We find this concept in all religion. So before you make the people fall in sin, you have to terrify them, to have to make them scared to not make sin or mistakes. So Emem, I love it because Emem can stop the guilty to stop to do sex. And also Si-Amun here, he tried to keep calm, to allow to him to cross and meet Osiris at the end of the sea.
Si-Amun held no religious or official titles. He was a wealthy landowner who produced wine and dates to be exported to the unknown world. His wife is shown in the tomb. She was an Egyptian woman. Si-Amun also had 2 children. He is shown in the tomb with both of his sons. Several mummies were found in this tomb, although all the personal belongings and treasures were raided in antiquity. This tomb has to be the most beautiful tomb in Egypt's western desert. The tombs in the Mountain of the Dead range from ancient Pharaonic to Greek Ptolemaic and even Roman. It turns out that our driver, Mahmoud, has a deep interest in Siwan history and tradition.
Lami, tombs here in everywhere.
Yes, because it is the mountain of the dead. The Siwan people, they found this area or this mountain seemed like a pyramid. So they believe in pyramid, same as Luxor. If you go to Luxor in King's Valley, you find the mountain seem like a pyramid and the tombs inside it. Same idea. They never ever let what they believe until the last day of their civilization. Look, in everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
You've been to Siwa before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An amazing area.
Yeah.
A lot of information today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just happy that you wanted to come along and see the tombs with us.
Yeah. Get from you and Lami a lot of information today.
Yeah. I'm very happy because, yeah, I hope that you'll bring some more people out here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be.
Oh, it's amazing, Mahmoud.
Yeah. Amazing view here.
It's so incredible to be at the top of the mountain because here you can really see ancient tombs with the modern houses.
Yeah.
It's something really, really strange to see.
Yes, very strange to see, because in Kings Valley we don't see anything there. It's an isolated area.
No.
So the life and death.
All in one.
All in one.
Yeah.
And also the palm tree scenes, it gave like a touch of magic to the location.
Yeah.
You can imagine ancient time you body in such a place and you look at the scene from the afterlife.
You can definitely feel the magic here.
Yes.
Our next adventure lies on the opposite side of the Mountain of the Dead. We are passing along the same scenery that was seen by one of history's most incredible people, and one of the people that I find extremely fascinating. This is the Oracle Temple of Amun. Built around 700 BC by Greek mercenaries who settled here in Siwa. This site was home to the high priest of the Egyptian god Amun. This is where he would receive divine messages, and this is where one of history's most notable men visited.
I'm literally walking in the same footsteps as Alexander the Great, up these steps. I'm going to take you in to the Amun temple, where Alexander received his message from the oracle.
The legend goes that Alexander followed a flock of birds across the desert to reach the oasis of Siwa. Alexander arrived at the temple and was permitted to enter. He went to the inner sanctuary, where he came face to face with the god Amun. We do not know the exact conversation that took place, but Alexander spoke to the statue. Of course, the statue did not speak back. He was spoken to by the oracle, who is hiding above. Speaking from the window as the god, the oracle said that Alexander was the son of Amun. Now, there are several theories about which room the oracle was in. One theory is that he was in the side chamber and climbed up the stairs and spoke through the window, which looked down upon the statue of Amun in the central room. Another theory is the well on the left side where the oracle could enter. Interestingly, this also has a passage going under the temple. From this well, he probably could speak up and the sound would reverberate through holes in the floor.
In this area, Alexander the Great came around 331 BC to have like the oracle to be the son of Ra, the general god in Egypt or king of gods. And I think Alexander the Great, he did that because he wanted to improve to the Egyptians and to all the world. He is not only human, he's a son of God. So it will help him later when he make his empire, and it will help also his mission in Egypt to control them like the native pharaohs, sons of the gods.
Almost all images in this temple have been erased, but here we can see the god Amun with his feathered crown, with his wife Mut behind. Amun is one of Egypt's first creator gods. He was the king of the gods. He was seen as equal to the Greek Zeus when this temple was first created. Alexander originally arrived in Egypt to defeat the invading Persians, who were his rivals. However, once they were out, because of the good ties between Egypt and Greece, Alexander was welcomed as the succeeding pharaoh. The temple itself is surrounded by an ancient village called Agurmi. This is a fascinating site with a mix of Greek and Egyptian history. The temple is built right at the edge of the village on a cliff. The priests of this temple taunted many foreigners to try and conquer it. Each failed, including the great army of Cambyses. A myth suggests that this site was founded by a priestess who was banished from Thebes. Converted from a large ancient home around 800 years ago and reconstructed, this is a mosque known as the Mosque of Agurmi. Although recently restored, this still displays how the ancient people would have lived. Imagine every day waking up and looking at the then still intact Temple of Amun. This ruined temple was built around 3,400 years ago in Egypt's 30th dynasty, the last native ruling pharaohs of Egypt, built by Pharaoh Nectanebo. Dedicated to Amun and his wife Mut, this temple was linked to the Oracle Temple by a causeway. Much of the blue color still remains from this temple. The top shows a man named Amun. He was the original commissioner of this temple. He was a Libyan man who was the overseer and eventual ruler of Siwa. The lower registers show Pharaoh Nectanebo along with the gods. Here he is seen alongside the mother goddess Mut. Atum, Sekhmet, and Geb are also present. Although much of this temple was destroyed in antiquity, much of it was still standing until 1811, when a terrible earthquake hit Siwa and the majority of the temple collapsed. The vulture goddess still visible on the collapsed ceiling at Umbayada Temple. This ruin in the shadow of the Oracle Temple reveals much of the religious politics of Siwa.
You can see next bit.
Yes, the wings of Nikba.
Yeah. So this was once the ceiling. These blocks.
Yes, ceiling, excellent.
Yeah.
It's a ceiling. There's a sheriff, like a policeman in charge, in all of this area. He wants to build a police station, and instead to do effort and buy blocks, so he came and dismantled the temple to build the police station.
No way.
Read about it, I'm sure what I'm telling you. Back then, the people, they don't know the value of it. Only for them it is something mystery or they can't understand it from the past, and so they don't give any attention or respect to it.
But even the ancient Egyptians, they recycle things. We see that sometimes they take the blocks, it's upside down, it's not...
We saw that menu in Habu Temple, sorry, in
Luxor.
Yes, in Luxor, in Khunsu Temple.
Yes.
Yes.
Upside down pieces. So this recycling, it's nothing new.
Nothing new.
The Siwa Oasis is in fact below sea level, which is why hundreds of natural springs surround the area. The underground water rising in this natural spring is known as Cleopatra's Bath.
Straight from the tree.
Yes.
In antiquity, Siwa was known as the place of palm trees. For millennia, these palms provided the only way that people could eke out a living in this harsh terrain. The current living population and the ancient population of Siwa have much in common in their way of surviving. Siwa's main export now is dates, as too was in ancient times, yet they made date wine. Water rights cause many arguments here. Each spring is owned by a community leader and then is shared between several landowners. I feel like I'm in a movie passing through Siwa's market, surrounded with the beautiful sights and colors, as well as the ancient mud brick walls. Shali, the abandoned terraced town in the center of Siwa.
Wow. Wow. Oh.
Although the origins of Shali are from ancient times, most of it was built in the 13th century to protect the inhabitants of Siwa from Bedouin attacks. Shali's construction method is called kershif, which is palm trees held together by mud brick composed of sand and salt. Walking through this abandoned town is the closest you could feel to the ancient Egyptian past. Far in the distance is the sister mountain to the Mountain of the Dead, yet inside this mountain are Roman tombs, completely undecorated. Shali was primarily abandoned in 1926 after a 3-day-long rainstorm soaked and destroyed the buildings. And then, unfortunately, in 1936, another huge rainstorm swept through Siwa, ravaging Shali. The locals then completely abandoned Shali. They reluctantly then had to accept modern living and buildings made out of concrete and brick. While driving along another mountain outside of Siwa, Lami and I saw some strange things that we wanted to see closer. From far it's hard to tell, but between the salt-soaked mountain are stone structures. Naturally, curiosity gets the better of us.
You can see like large number of fossils in everywhere, and we found this something very weird. Seems like it was like a crocodile, or it was like turtle since millions of years, because all of the western desert in Egypt, it was like an ocean. So we found in al-Fayoum like a big area has fossils for big fish and sharks and all this stuff. So I think this area also was a part of western desert, and so you can find many fossils here. Life since millions of years.
On the mountain face, these fossils shine bright in the sun. The stone structures are not tombs. They are, however, fortresses as such, built by the Bedouin to protect them from the elements. Siwa is a quiet little place, but when the sun sets, the town comes to life. What you have just seen is extremely rare, as the local women of Siwa are usually completely veiled. Olives are another export of Siwa. This area is also well known for its handmade crafts. In recent years, an enrichment program has been started for the women of Siwa to help them sell and create their craft. There is something so authentic about this place.
Yeah. Like all the patterns that they stitch.
Yeah, something real, something coming from hard effort, not Chinese, coming from the nature.
Exactly.
And also other thing I like it, no pressure at all.
At the edge of the town of Siwa is this abandoned village. These mud brick houses, scattered between Roman tombs, could reveal clues about the outcasts of the city that lived here.
Nothing. Yeah, you can even see, look, there's a line running through with the chisel marks. Another one here.
You look at the jackal.
The jackals.
There's
Yeah,
maybe
jackal
inside
prints.
now.
Yeah, look. This is a deep tomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. The entire mountain there was this.
Yes,
these
also
little
from the
tombs.
other side.
These were not only used as tombs, they were also used as hideouts for men that were outcast from the main village of Siwa. But what did these men do to banish them from society?
There's an old Bedouin man 5 years ago. He told me a story about the Bedouin communities in certain area in Western Desert.
Yeah.
So they punish the man who make anything bad to live in a mountain.
Okay.
So many,
Like something like this.
something like this. So, and they even look at the houses, not enough for one family. I think it's for one person, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So they punish them to sending them to the mountain, not live with the community down there. So many of them for a long time, they live together only men community.
Yeah.
So they start to have like homosexuality because they don't have their wives, they don't have their families, like that.
They're forced out of the community.
Forced out because there is no jail. No organization can put them in jail. So the punishment like that.
Yeah.
You did something bad, get out of here. So it's an oral story, and I don't know if it is real or not, but it's something very, very interesting.
Yeah.
To punish the people, to keep them away from their families.
And it can make sense as well as to why such a small little village like this is completely abandoned.
Yeah.
It's not like the Shelley that we see
Yeah.
inside main Siwa city. This is out of the city.
Yes, out of the city, yes.
So,
So it's one of the most interesting stories. I like it
yeah.
about the Western Desert. Whatever it is true, no.
It's interesting.
Interesting.
An Egyptologist named Ahmed Fakhri had studied the people of Siwa and the monuments for 30 years. He documented that relationships between Siwan men were not uncommon up until the year 1928. Ahmed Fakhri also writes that in the 70s, single men were sent out of the village at night to protect the women. This sparked up the traditions from the past between men, though it's changed again.
Western Desert in Egypt, it's like represent like 45% from the area in Egypt. It's large and massive land. So all of this area had many oases and have communities in ancient time, New Kingdom, Old Kingdom. And there's 5 branches of River Nile, plus the spring. Water wasn't everywhere. So the main harvest, main economy to these villages in Western Desert, it was grapes, to farm grapes, to make a wine. And it was until the Abbasid time, one of the Arabic empires. So they said no anymore to farm grapes for wine. That's why it's became abandoned, because the people have no else of harvest they can do. So palm tree everywhere here. That's why it's became abandoned. The main reason to make the Western Desert abandoned, despite it has many temples and many everything. It's mean large number of people they were here.
Walking through these ancient abandoned villages, with tombs dotted between them, it is filled with the ghosts of the past. This is what Siwa is famous for, these beautiful lakes, although you do not want to drink from one of them, as the salt concentration in them is some of the highest in the world. This extreme landscape was formed millennia ago, when this was once ocean floor, leading to the high concentration of salt. Of course, salt is big business, and we get our word salary from Vlad the Impaler, who used to pay his men in salt. Salt has been a prized commodity for thousands of years all around the world.
So you can see all of this. This is all coming from the salt lakes here at Siwa. It's just these piles and piles of salt crystals, pure salt. This is the main export, apart from dates and olive oil, is salt, obviously coming from Siwa. So I believe that there's something special that we're gonna do in a salt lake, so I'm excited to give it a try. So this is one of the salt lakes here at Siwa, and I'm told that we can float, so it's like the Dead Sea, but I believe it's better than the Dead Sea. I'm very, very interested to see how this goes. Okay, thank you. All right. I'm not feeling any floating. No? All right.
Just
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Ah, completely just floating.
Just floating, look. يا نسمة أنا بتنسمك يا صورة حلوة برسمك